Have you noticed that some women seem to get lighter as they get older? I used to think it was only because they became wiser, but I discovered another secret. I think it's because they finally started returning the wrong prizes. You see, most of us spend the first half of our life at a carnival. Every booth promises something wonderful. Step right up, win approval. You just won success. Here's a lifetime supply of being liked. And because you're such a good customer, we're throwing in perfectionism absolutely free. The crowd cheers, confetti falls, and then we proudly carry home our prizes. The only problem is, when we finally open them, usually many years later, we discovered that they're actually bricks with pretty ribbons tied around them. Hi, this is Elisa from the Rebel Crone, and I love to look into the why of just about everything. Today, I want to share 10 prizes I finally returned that made my 60s lighter, happier, and much more peaceful. The funny thing is, no one ever walked into the carnival called life thinking we wanted bricks for prizes. We were told they were valuable. Play the game of life and win. The prize for being the good girl. The prize for keeping everyone happy. The prize for looking successful. The prize for never slowing down. The prize for staying young. The prize for always having the answers. The enticing part was that the crowd cheered every time we won another one. So of course, we kept collecting prizes until one day, usually in midlife, we realized we can hardly carry ourselves anymore. We have too many bricks in our backpack. Looking back now, I don't think I needed to become a stronger woman because I got pretty darn strong. Strong enough to carry all the fake prizes I had tried so hard to win. What I really needed was a lighter backpack. So one by one, I started walking back to the prize booths to return all my glorious winnings. Prize number 1. This one was for looking like I had it all together. Oh, I really love this one. The Italian in me loves beauty and loves looking great. But it wasn't really about cool clothes or fun jewelry that obviously I still love today, but for very different reasons. I got tired of carrying the bricks of looking for approval outside of myself. So I went back to that prize booth because it was finally time to be comfortable in my own skin, literally and figuratively. The second prize. This was the one for never slowing down. Do. I took this one seriously. If I do hard enough, that I can accomplish and that I can be a successful woman. Now, coming to age in the 70s marked a very unique time in our history where everything was available for girls. Be what you want. But the caveat was, as long as you claim your doing prize and never stop working. But at some point in your life, your energy changes, and that incessant drive for success is no longer sustainable. So with great relief, I marched this prize right back to the giver. Now, prize number 3, the prize for everyone liking me. And this was a tricky one. To actually be able to live knowing someone doesn't like you or isn't approving of you isn't easy for girls or for women. We are trained very young to people please. And I also think it's wired in our hormonal system that makes us way more susceptible to this than males. But for me, after a lifetime of carrying around the treasured prize, I decided it was time to stop caring about what other people thought of me. I realized it was a futile responsibility and not mine to carry. But marching back I did, and in return, I received an even better prize. I was on my way to being truly me. Now the next prize, prize number 4, the one for having all the answers. I'd say this is the fixer prize. Oh boy, I worked really hard to win this one. Having all the answers is quite the accomplishment. At least I thought it was until I realized that it was a lie, and one that pushed people away from me. When I was younger, I always seemed to have the answer. For life, for circumstances, for whatever problem happened to be standing right in front of me. And I shared my answers, even when no one asked for them. Let me tell you, once this baby went back to the rightful owner in the carnival, I've been at peace with messes. I learned that nobody, including myself, needed me judging them, trying to figure out what was wrong, much less fixing them. That brings us to prize number 5, the one for figuring out what is wrong with the world. This is closely related to prize number 4. I've always been very curious and have wanted to understand the why in everything. And I love to talk about it with any willing ear. But life slowly worked on me. With every mystery I thought I solved, new information came my way to show me that the prize I had been carrying around wasn't all there was. There was always more. At some point, I wisened up to this game and decided that I was unwilling to play anymore. This brick was quite the relief to return back to the booth. I could finally accept that the meaning of life is far bigger than anything I can imagine or discover inside the experience of life. And you know what's funny? By this point in my returning of unwanted goods, I was beginning to notice a pattern. Every prize I returned made my backpack a little lighter. But I wasn't done there. We have 4 more to go. Prize number 6, the prize for caring about other people's opinions. Somewhere along the way of growing up, I learned to value other people's opinions over my own, even when I knew their view was not true for me. Because someone else felt strongly about it, had a good reason, a good explanation, I adopted it. But wait, there's more. This came with a bonus prize. If you cared more about other people's opinions, you now get to spend your life worrying about what they think of you. It took many years to become strong enough with my perspective of life and myself to value it above others. Once I returned this one, something deep inside of me relaxed. I learned to trust my inner wisdom above all else. This brings us to prize number 7, the prize for beating myself up. This one makes me laugh every time at the ridiculousness of it. Somewhere along the road, I accepted the belief that one should be gracious with everyone else and ruthless with oneself. At least that was my interpretation of it, and I got really good at it. The slightest mistake, the wrong word spoken at the wrong time, and bam, down came the gavel, guilty as charged. I'm a loser. My indictment of myself would be ruthless. Eventually, I figured out that there is nothing noble about sacrificing yourself on the altar of perfectionism. The traces of its patterns are still something I need to shrug off every day. It's still challenging for me. But what I know to be true is that we can only be truly gracious with others based on how gracious we are with ourselves. Prize number 8, the one for looking younger than your age. This cute little brick came with bright, shiny colors. Oh my goodness. The wisdom I can share with you about this one is that at some point in a woman's life, you're going to have to face the fact that you will age. Your hair will change, mostly gray. It'll start thinning. Your face will express new lines. Your skin will have a looser relationship with your bones, and it is okay. But let me be clear, returning this prize doesn't mean letting yourself succumb to the entropy of life. But the point is, it's no longer fighting it. I learned to take all that energy and redirect it into true self-care and self-love. I exercise when I have the energy. I do the things that bring me joy. I eat what I love in moderation. I take good, clean supplements. And then, however my body's going to look, is just how it's going to look. And I need to accept that. Number 9, we're almost there. This is the prize for saying yes when I meant to say no. Or maybe I should say when I should have said no. Learning boundaries as women directly is tied into all things. I used to love to say yes to everything because I knew I could do it, and probably better than anyone else, and I wanted to prove myself. So up with my little head without any consideration of my actual schedule or energy limits. I continually burnt myself out with too much on my plate and wondered, how did I do this again and again? But nowadays, I live by another rule. It's either a hell yes or it's a hell no. More often than not, that is a clear measuring stick for what I take on. Now, returning this one, I decided to do differently. I decided to slowly, ever so slowly walk this one back to the booth to make a point, an important point. No more chasing, no more rushing, no more trying to do it all. I'm going to take whatever time I need and want, because returning this prize gives me what I've been chasing all my life. Space, time to relax, and time to explore things that feed my soul. And that brings us to number 10, the grand finale, the prize for becoming someone other than myself. At 65 years old, this one brings tears to my eyes. I am sad for all those years that I thought I was not enough, that I had to carry around all that extra weight from all those fake prizes just to feel valued. Too many years were lost not appreciating the preciousness of who I was and who I am. And in many ways, this is the grand prize of all prizes. Congratulations, the crowd says. You lost yourself completely. Now, the walk back to this booth was bittersweet. In many ways, this is the culmination of all the other prizes being returned. I am finally able to enjoy being me in my 60s. After I returned those 10 prizes, I noticed something. They weren't 10 different lessons. They were all the same lesson, just each one wearing a different packaging. I wasn't giving back parts of myself. I was giving back the things that had been covering me up. Because the truth is that all those prizes were never really prizes. They were simply bricks wearing pretty ribbons. Now, I don't think wisdom comes from collecting more and more. I think wisdom begins the day we quietly walk back to the prize booth, smile, hand one over, and simply say, I'd like to return this one. No explanation needed. Now, maybe today's the day you return a prize. Not because you're becoming someone new, because you're ready to finally make room for the woman who has been there all along. I hope this video is helpful to you. And as always, I want you to remember that peace comes from within. It's the beginning and it's the end of it all. It all starts and ends within you, my friends. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And enjoy a stroll back to the carnival and enjoy returning each one of those prizes. You don't need to carry them around anymore.